Hey team, in this video we are going to cover exactly how you can get into property with zero of your own money. It sounds too good to be true, but I promise you with these strategies you do not have to put any of your money in, and I know it works because they're strategies that I have used myself and I help my clients to do too. So if you're looking to grow and scale in property using zero of your own money, this one is definitely for you. Hey guys, if we've not met before, I am Katie, founder of KO Estates and helping investors on their property journey. Money in investing is important. Money makes the world go round. But for so long, money was holding me back on my property journey because I thought I had to have money to make money. And for so long it put me off property, and that's why I was so excited about making this video, because I realize now that is such a false belief and you need to never use money as an excuse again, because there are so many different strategies that you can use to generate income from property without having money yourself. Unless you have an unlimited pot of cash always available, everyone on their journey is going to hit a point where you've run out of money. And that's where these strategies can help you. It can help you grow, it can help you get to the next level, and it's so powerful because it requires zero of your own money. And we're all gonna hit that threshold. If we've got huge growth plans, we are always going to hit that threshold, and that's why it's so important. So let's jump into a few methods that we can use to get started. First up, I'm going to start with my favorite. It's property sourcing, and that is exactly where I started. Property sourcing is incredible because it's very, very low barrier to entry. Basically, what you are doing is finding deals, really good property deals, and then selling them on to an investor. It's a win-win on both sides. The investor gets an incredible deal. You've done all the legwork, the research, you know the numbers stack, you've found the property, and often you get access to off-market properties. So it's a property that investor would not have had access to otherwise. And they pay you a fee for that convenience. Now, typically at the start of my journey, I was charging anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 per property I was sourcing and then selling it on. I was able to then quickly build up the money for a deposit for my very first investment property. Property sourcing is so good at the start of your journey because you're actually like earning whilst you learn, you get to understand the property market a little bit better, and you're developing an incredible skill that is going to serve you throughout your entire investing career. Because if you have that skill of how to find great deals, build that network and be able to sell them, and you're also building a network of investors at the same time, it's an invaluable skill that you can get paid for whilst you're learning and that you can take with you throughout your career. So that is one way you can get started in property with zero money, because all you need to do is do your research, use your time to find these deals and then sell them to an investor. And that's the way I got started. It's a way a lot of my students are getting started, and it's an incredible strategy that can help you scale and grow on your journey. Next up, we have rent to rent. Rent to rent is where you are renting a property off a landlord, and then you are kind of the middleman and the broker, and you rent it out for more. Now that could be through a HMO or letting the rooms out individually so that you actually generate more income than the rent you're paying to the landlord. Another option here would be to do SA, serviced accommodation, and rent the property out on Airbnb, and if you find the right deal in the right location, you will be generating more income than the rent you are paying to the landlord. So it makes you a lovely profit in the middle. Now, of course, there's risk associated with it because you have guaranteed that you are going to pay this landlord for that rent. But if you do the work, if you get the right deal, this can be an incredible strategy, and people are building up thousands and thousands per month using this strategy. So it's so powerful. And again, all you would need is the initial deposit to rent that property off that landlord. Now, a lot of people ask me, how could that actually work in practice? Because the landlord could just rent it out themselves and generate more income. The secret is not everyone A, has the time, B has the knowledge, or C even wants to. For a lot of these landlords that are renting out a buy-to-let property, they want easy, hands-off passive income, and that is what we can offer them. Then we are adding additional value to then increase our own profits and make money off that deal. A lot of landlords are happy to work with you on this model because they know they're getting the rent that they originally wanted. It's no skin off their nose. You're going to look after the property and make sure it's all looked after, and it's a win-win all round. Another strategy that we can go down is joint venturing, and that is where you partner with someone. You do need money to get into property, but it doesn't necessarily have to be your own. You could joint venture with someone. So someone brings the money and you bring your time, your experience, your knowledge, and you come together to make a partnership. There may be someone there with 100,000 in the bank account, but they are busy working professional. They want to make some more money of it, but they've not got the time, they've not got the knowledge, they've not got the skill. And that's where they'd partner with someone like you, who doesn't necessarily have the money, but they have the ability to find an incredible deal and an opportunity to manage the refurb and take it from A to B. And what you can add is the time, the value, and the knowledge. What that investor may have the money, but they don't have the other skills. So you can joint venture. Typically, one investor would bring all the money, the other investor would do all the work, and then you split the profits 50-50. For example, if you had 100 grand property, you bought that property, you spent 20 grand on it, refurbing it, and the new value was now 170,000. You sold that property and there's a £50,000 profit in there. The original investor gets their 120,000 back that they originally put into the deal, plus 50% of the profit. They end up with their original money back with an additional 25,000, and you as the other partner receives the other 25,000. So you've just generated an incredible profit from zero of your own money. Zero. All you need to provide is value in terms of finding the deal, getting the job done, finding the right team of partners, the right builders, getting the right team around you. And if one person can bring all that together and the other person can bring the money, then you create a great team and a great partnership that can work really, really well. Another method that's quite similar to this is borrowing money. So unlike a joint venture where you're actually a partnership together, borrowing money is where you are literally borrowing money off someone and offering them a guaranteed return. For example, I did this on a property and we needed 100,000 to buy the property, and that included the refurb costs as well. And I knew this project could be done in 8 months. So I went out to find an investor with 100,000 who was happy in 8 months' time to make an 8% net return. Now that's hard to do. You can't do that on the stock market. That is an incredible return for someone who wants hands-off cash. So it was a win-win for both parties because I was able to generate money for a project that I needed. They were able to get a fixed return without lifting a finger, literally just handing the money over, and 8 months later I delivered on that promise. So they gave 100,000. That allowed me to buy a property at 80,000, do a £20,000 refurb, and then the property at the end of it was worth 150,000. So from the 100,000 initial investment, I was able to generate 150,000. Now I'd promised that investor their money back plus 8%. So I gave back that investor 108,000, which left me with £42,000 pure profit for me. And I had to put no money into this deal. That's how good this is. It allows you to scale so much quicker because unless you have an unlimited amount of funding and an unlimited bank account, which I think very few of us have, you will eventually hit a ceiling. It is so powerful. And if you are anything like me and you have huge growth potentials, we can tap into this in order to help us grow and scale on our journey. Because even if you are starting out and you are struggling to get the deposit, or you have just bought your first investment and now you're like, I'm back to square one, I've not got that money yet to then go again. there's always going to be a ceiling that we hit that prevents our growth. So if we can understand the growth strategies to make sure we never run out of money and that we can get into property without putting any of our own money in, it becomes so much easier to scale and develop on our journey. I mean, that is just a couple of ways. There are so many different ways and agreements that you can do this and set this up, and having the right contracts in place is going to be crucial here, because you need to make sure that anyone you are partnering with, that you know the roles and responsibilities, that everyone's happy, everyone's on board, because in property there is a lot of money involved. So if things go wrong, it's not easy to fix. It can be very, very difficult, and you want to make sure that you are protected, any of your partners are protected, and that you set this up in the best possible way. We can think a bit outside of the box. You don't have to think, oh, I need to buy this on my own and I need to have X amount of money to do so, and because that's so old-fashioned now. So many people are picking up these new strategies, so I don't want to ever hear again you use money as an excuse to slowing you down on your property journey, because it doesn't exist. There are so many different ways you can get into property with zero money. For any questions on this, make sure to drop a comment below and check out the free training that we do on all of these different strategies in the description. I hope that helps you on your property journey. I will catch you on the next video.